Hello everyone. So today I'm making bell pepper pasta. First, I have the Casarecce pasta that I'm going to be using. And this pasta originated in Sicily. And then I have 1 cup of spinach, and I've already chopped that up. The tomato sauce that I made for the last video, or made in the last video, rather. And this pasta sauce is really nothing special, so you can easily just replace this with a cup of canned tomatoes, to be honest. Or you can stew your own tomatoes as well. Of course, I have a bell pepper, 2 types of cheeses, 3 technically, combining the ricotta. So I have pecorino romano. This is optional. This is just kind of give it that really sort of sharp taste. The only thing I can really say about it is that it has like a really strong smell, a really strong taste. It's very salty, and it is made from sheep's milk. And also I have Parmesan cheese, ricotta cheese. This is the first time that I've actually had high quality ricotta cheese, and this is creamy. This is just very luscious and just very, it's kind of like mascarpone, but again, this is not required. Any type of ricotta cheese will do. And then I also have garlic, and as you can probably tell, I have really big cloves, so I'm probably just gonna use 1 clove. But if you have regular garlic, like most people, I would suggest probably using like 2 to 3. Chili flakes, this is optional as well. Salt and pepper, of course. All right, so that is it for our ingredients, and let's get started. I'm going to start off by boiling some water and adding salt. Next, I'm just going to add some oil to the pan. This is about 2 tablespoons worth of olive oil, which I forgot to mention in the ingredient list. But yes, 2 tablespoons. And I'm just testing the oil to see if it's ready. You never want to add anything to the pan unless the oil is hot enough, because the food will absorb it and become super greasy. Next, I'm just adding the red pepper I chopped off camera. As well as the chopped garlic and crushed red pepper. I'm adding only about a half a teaspoon of this because in my mind this dish should only have a hint of spice, as it's a bit more on the delicate side, but this is completely up to your preference. Now I'm going to add the pasta since the water is boiling at this point. And while that's boiling, I'm going to finish off cooking the peppers really quick. One way that you can tell that they're done is that they look and feel soft under the spatula. Okay, so I went ahead and added the ingredients off camera. So I have the red pepper, I have 1 cup of the tomato sauce, and then I also have a half a cup of the ricotta. And with the ricotta, you just kind of want to be careful. If you add too much, it could become too dense and lose its flavor. Although ricotta is a milder cheese, its density has the ability to overwhelm the other ingredients. So just make sure you're tasting as you're going, but for me, half a cup is a perfect balance of creamy sweet with a slight kick. This is still hot, so I'm just removing the little plastic bit at the top so it doesn't explode, because that would be awful. You want to do the same if your blender is like mine, or if it doesn't have that, then just let it cool down for a bit. If you do end up making your sauce a little bit too thick or a little bit too rich and creamy, then what you can do is grab some of the pasta water. What it will do is make the sauce more silky and rich without watering it down. It's going to bind those ingredients together more fluidly. This is because the pasta water has starches. Isn't that so cool? So we're adding our spinach to the pan now. Right, and some of you might think like this is a lot of spinach, but it's definitely going to shrink down as it loses its water content. It's already shrinking down. It's already shrinking down. Adding the beautiful sauce we just made. I mean, just look at this, guys. It's so vibrant, creamy, decadent, velvety, and romantic. So I'm just gonna keep stirring until I feel like the spinach is incorporated enough. And then I'm going to keep it on simmer because I don't want to overcook it or burn it or potentially dry out the sauce. Also, because the sauce does have cheese in it, I definitely want to make sure that I'm not cooking it on too high of a temperature. Okay, so now that it's had the chance to cook for a little bit, I went ahead and added the salt and pepper. And you just want to make sure you're not adding too much salt, because you can always add more salt if you need to, but you can never really take it away. And now I'm just adding about 2 tablespoons each of Parmesan cheese, or Parmigiano Reggiano, and pecorino cheese. When it comes to mixing the cheese, try not to turn up the heat beyond this point. I want you to keep it around low-medium, as this is the ideal temperature for melting harder cheeses. I know this can be hard to get down at first. I honestly used to cry every time because I couldn't figure out the perfect temperature for melting cheese without it turning into a clumpy, goopy mass. Now that I've practiced and tried so many times to get it right, what I can say is this. For those of you who are like me that need to know the why in order for it to resonate, here it is. So cheese has enzymes, right? Those enzymes can break down rather easily as their melting point is around 150 degrees Fahrenheit or 65 degrees Celsius. After it reaches this point, those proteins will firm up and squeeze out their moisture, separating the fat and water much like oil and water. Once they do that, the cheese has nothing else to make it combine with the sauce, so it will seize up and become firm. So you just want to make sure that the cheese is not in there for too long, just as you want to make sure that the temperature isn't too high, because once those protein structures break, it'll ruin the sauce. Now there are ways you can try to save the sauce, but for now I'm just going to tell you the best solution, which is prevention. Due to its lack of water content, harder cheeses, like Parmesan and pecorino, will take longer to melt and can typically tolerate higher temperatures as a result. However, don't let that mislead you. Its lack of water content also means that it can reach its breaking point rather quickly and has a smaller room for error, which is why I usually always go for low-medium heat when melting harder cheeses. So now I'm just doing my best amateur impression of tossing the pasta, which you can tell don't really have the strength to do with one hand or two, but we just do what we can, right? And sometimes that's enough. And I just went ahead and cooked this until it was of my desired thickness, but it's pretty much done at this point. And as you guys are about to see, I could not stop eating this. It was so damn good. I literally told myself, okay, you're gonna save some for your family this time. You're not gonna eat the entire thing. And I just couldn't help myself, guys. I had to eat it, and I had to eat it all. Alright, so this is the final result. And I'm just gonna add some cheese. But here it is. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully maybe you learned something, or really, most of all, I hope that I've cultivated somewhat of a safe space for you to be able to relax for a short time. If you by chance happen to like it, please do consider liking the video, sharing, and subscribing. Alright, thank you again, and until next time, bye!